What's up, YouTube family? Welcome back to another episode, guys. What we're going to be going over today are what I would consider four hidden gems inside of records that you are already finding for your wholesaling real estate business. Now, a lot of you guys that get into the business, you pull the same data that 90% of your competition is probably pulling. You're pulling high equity, you're pulling absentee owners, you're pulling vacant properties. You see, the reality is that you are fishing in an incredibly small pond, and you need to figure out a way to think outside of the box is going to narrow down your prospect a lot more effectively than essentially just buying this data, skip tracing this data, cold calling it to no avail, and talking to a whole bunch of people who really don't want to sell their properties. Now, again, I've been doing this business for about 10 years now. I'm currently mentoring and coaching for all of you guys that are here. I have a paid community where I deep dive on these specific subjects in my mastermind, and it's literally only $97 to join. You can click the link in the description below and be a part of what it is that we are doing inside of Accelerated Wealth. We're top 10 in school right now, and the platform is called Real Estate Cheat Codes. And in this platform, I'm teaching every single thing that you can think of that you can't really find on YouTube, if I'm gonna be real. And essentially what we're doing is we're going after specific niche type of leads that no one's really targeting because they're normally marked in your CRM as dead. And we are closing these deals, making a minimum of 20 to 50 to even $100,000 per assignment contract per wholesaling real estate deal that you close. All right. And so I want to go over this because sometimes there's gems inside of the data that you pull. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys real fast. We're going to kind of get into this. All right. Now, whenever you pull a list, these are 5 or 4 different things that you look for that essentially will help you narrow down your prospect even further so that you can talk to more qualified leads in the beginning. A lot of you guys, you don't talk to people that are qualified. You just pray to God that you find somebody who's interested in selling. And again, you're just calling to no avail, people hanging up on you, and you're probably banging your head against a wall. So this is a list. And if you guys watch this most recent video that I put, I'm going to pin it somewhere at the top. This is a list that I pulled directly from my county. It is the tax delinquent list. All right. Now, it's one thing to get this list online. All right. The only thing that when you get it online is that you're going to be associating tax delinquency with tax liens. Tax liens does not necessarily always mean tax delinquency. You see, if you live in Texas, it's a little bit different. Most non-disclosure states, most disclosure states are exactly like this. Essentially, when you pull tax delinquent data, you're also getting properties that have federal tax liens against them. There's a difference between a tax delinquent lead and a lead that has a federal tax lien. One isn't paying their taxes on their business. The other one isn't paying property taxes. All right. And so right off of the bat, I can tell you guys right now that if you're getting data and you're getting data from any source, you want to make sure that if you're pulling real estate leads, that you're getting them directly from your county. Did a whole video outlining this. I'll pin it to the top somewhere. You guys can watch this all the way through. I think I left nothing out so that y'all should be able to go down to your county and pull this list of tax delinquent properties. Now, again, just because somebody's behind on taxes doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to sell. See, these are 4 hidden gems inside of a tax delinquent list, and really inside of every list that you can think of that you're pulling that could essentially be the differential factor between whether or not the individual that answers the phone is genuinely interested in selling their property. And so take a look at this, guys. I'm going to show y'all real fast. I'm going to share my screen. This is an organic list of tax delinquent data here. These are all individuals that at some point in time wanted to sell their house. Well, not blah. At some point in time, stop paying their property taxes. And if you scroll to the right, what you'll see here is the amount that's owed on their taxes. You know, some of these are multi-million-dollar homes, hence why the number is a little bit higher. But as you scroll down, you'll start getting into normal homes that have a huge tax bill on them. Like this is an area in San Antonio that normally shouldn't be worth millions of dollars. It's in 78211, and there's a $70,000 tax bill that is due on this property, right? And so, guys, I separate this data into 4 specific columns, and these columns are what I go for. And these are essentially leads that are inside of the data that I already have that I am currently pulling for my real estate business. All right. And so let me kind of just break this down. This is a list of people that are behind on taxes. The time frame, the amount, you know, I have it all labeled here just in case I need to reference it for whatever reason. This is data that is up to date. So cheat code number 1, you get the data from your county and it never fails because you know that it is tried and true. All right. And so take a look at this, guys. I have the data separated into 4 specific columns. Number 1 are deals that are currently in an estate. Now, not all of these properties that you'll see are inside of a state, and some of them could be a state in the name of the LLC, but for the sake of this video, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. This is a tax delinquent list. I pulled all of the properties inside of the tax delinquent list that have this type of name, EST or estate. So this is an individual named Maria Tovar who passed away, who owns this property here on 6243 Ingram Road in San Antonio, Texas, and they owe $45,000 in taxes. This is a double whammy. They are currently within an estate, meaning that somebody owns this house still, where essentially the person who owns it is no longer with us, leading to a more probable lead. If we were to able to skip trace this individual, you can skip trace them and find the relatives using thedatafleet.com. I'm going to repeat that. It's thedatafleet.com, which is a place that I like to utilize in my business. I'll show y'all real quick. It's thedatafleet.com. And here, guys, we pull everything for you from, I'm talking like real estate leads. You can pull data. You can get low income, low credit, all of these different types of real estate leads that are here. But when we skip trace, guys, we pull from credit bureaus. And so this is just a great platform all around for these types of leads, where essentially if you are trying to target an individual who has recently passed away and you want to get a hold of their relatives, we skip trace everything. You get brother, sister, aunt, uncle, cousin, doesn't matter, mom, dad. They're all a part of your skip trace. So you'll have multiple columns with multiple different types of people who could be associated with the property, even friends of the family that have been put on credit reports when they applied for a credit card or a cell phone or whatever it was that they were getting financing for. This would be where you would be able to get that type of information. All right. So shameless plug here, man. Guys, just make sure you use promo code wealth or promo code growth. It'll give you 50% up to 25% off your first order. Now, going back to this list here, because I think that this is, again, I don't want y'all to miss the point here. It's one thing to get the list and to just have a bunch of tax delinquent properties. When you filter it this way, you are finding the hidden gems inside of your data, where essentially individuals who own these properties are currently deceased. It's more of a reason for them to sell. Okay. Now I go even further, because like a lot of times, what's the reason that somebody in Texas doesn't pay their property taxes? Is most of the time, guys, if they have a huge tax bill, the person who owns it is dead. That's the reality. I found one yesterday. Lady was 73 years old. When she passed away, she never transferred ownership to her property. And guess what? That house is just sitting there. And every single year, whoever the family is, next of kin, isn't paying the damn taxes. And so what does that look like? What exactly does that look like? That right there, my friends, when somebody is over the age of 65 and they live in Texas, and this might be the same in your area, you can call any tax office and get an idea what the senior exemption tax clause does. If they have filed for seniority, they can take their seniority and go to a tax office and essentially be able to have an exemption to their taxes. This also means they get a tax break. So every single year they get a tax break on their taxes that they have to pay. That's one. But two, if the years keep going and they don't pay, guess what? That bill just keeps stacking until one day they die, and then those taxes roll back. And so again, guys, for y'all that are watching this, this is the second gem inside of that list. These are a bunch of individuals who are also behind on taxes. And you can see that it racks all the way up to the hundreds of thousands here that are over the age of 65. There's a million reasons why someone would want to sell their properties being at this age. There's also a huge chance that the individual who owns it is also deceased. You got some properties in irrevocable trusts. You got other individuals that essentially that are just, they're just a normal Joe, like, normal guy, no more Joe, and just 100% just doesn't pay their taxes. The last one is veterans. These are retired veterans. These are individuals who are actively serving or have served, I believe, that own multi-million-dollar properties that are delinquent on taxes. So, I wanted to put the veteran list in here because a lot of times if somebody's behind on taxes here for whatever reason, this is just another reason for them to want to sell. You really never know. So I just separate it. To me, it's a valuable resource. And to just add this into my list is what I look for. Now, this is one of the other kickers. This is the fourth gem that you can find inside of your data, and it is a list of individuals that also have the disabled exemption on their properties. And so, guys, these exemptions are there to essentially help them pay for it. But, if somebody's disabled, y'all, and they're over the age of 65, and they're a senior or a veteran, right, and they have like this giant tax bill, it just goes to show you that the what happens when you're over the age of 65. Let's be honest, sometimes the bills did just pile up, and then you have to make sure that you're focusing on your health, right? And so we're looking at these things. We are making sure that whatever we're seeing is that there's like, another factor within the data. Now, guys, what's awesome about all of this, I don't know if you guys know this, but check this out. You can literally take all of this data here, right? Whatever you'd like, and import it straight into PropStream. This is gem number 5. And let me just show y'all. So I just got done uploading a recent code violations list that I also pulled from the county. So we're just going to type in code. Oh, wrong one. Here, marketing list, and then code. And then we're going to select code violations. And this is it right here. So take a look, y'all. These are 2 that have a code violation on it that are currently listed on the market. Means they're not keeping up with their house, right? And then there are 6 properties that have code violations on them that are also vacant. So using the list automator and PropStream, you can take all of this data, import it, and get an actual stack of what this data looks like internally when you start coming in here and seeing what it looks like in the columns. You can see how many have a lien, how many are in pre-foreclosure, how many are negative equity, meaning that they're upside down, how many of them have a bunch of debt attached to it. This is a list of code violations, but this is something that I look for. So guys, I wanted to show you all this in today's video because to me, I feel that this is a gem. These are 5 gems that I think that are totally slept on when it comes to your data, how you organize it, and how you go about finding different points and reasons why someone want to sell their house. Again, what's their goal here? And I talked about this so many times in our videos, and repeat this after me in the comments. If you're watching this, it's find problem, solve problem, get paid. So the bigger the problem that we find, the easier that it's going to be for us to capitalize, where we get paid for our services for solving a problem that most people aren't able to solve. And that's how we make 15, 20, 30, 40 to $100,000 on one wholesaling real estate deal. And our assignment fee just through the roof. All right. And so guys, I hope you got value from this video. That's what I want to show y'all today. Again, when you look at data this way, it's a little bit different, but it's also super advantageous. Again, there's a bunch of videos here. I'm just going to drop them so that you guys can see them. Watch these. I've been doing a lot of different things. This is my first year doing the business solo, and I'd love for all of you guys to be a part of my journey. All right. So if you're watching this, click the link in the description, get on the other side. I can't wait to see you guys. And again, we meet about 5 times a week. I'll see y'all on the other side. Let's get it. Thank y'all so much for love. Thank y'all so much for subscribing. Peace out, everybody.